Hey guys, it's Tessa. So today we are making this beanie. It's essentially from the 21 Pilots Overcompensated video, or at least it's the beanie version of the mask that Tyler's wearing. I've seen a bunch of other people do this. I thought I'd show you guys my spin on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you make this. Let's get to the tutorial. To start, we are going to use black yarn, dark red, like a more burnt orange. We're going to use these 3 yarns. Finally, I'm going to be using a 6mm hook. To begin, you're going to chain 32, and then you are going to do your first half double crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook. To do a half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, and then you're going to yarn over, pull your hook through, yarn over again, and go through all 3 loops on your hook. You should be ending with only a single loop, and you're going to do that all the way down to the end. Once you complete your first row of 30 half double crochets, you're going to do 5 more rows, again, all of them being 30 stitches, of the black as well. At the end of each row, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work, or if you do it the other way of turning your work and then chaining, you just want to make sure you're chaining 2 to make sure it doesn't warp or buckle on itself. The way I have chosen to do the color changes is quite simple. Typically you would do this with wool fibers, but I found a way to modify it for acrylic. But basically, I am completing all the way up until that final yarn over and pull through on the last stitch. And when I do that, I am cutting my working yarn and I'm tying on a new yarn, or the new yarn, for the next row. The way I also attach the yarn to each other is a little bit different. Instead of just tying it in a knot, I instead fold over the new yarn, and I basically thread the original working yarn into the new yarn by first inserting the thread through it on either side. So if I insert the thread into it from the left, I wrap it around the back. So now that the black thread there is over the top of the red, and then I loop it back under and through the red loop again, and then I pull tight. I did this with every single color. My knot stayed fairly secure. As long as you're not cutting the thread too close to that knot, your knot should hold. The pattern overall is fairly simple and can be modified in a couple different ways, but the base pattern is 6 rows of black, 2 rows of red, 1 row of orange, 6 rows of red, 1 row of orange, 2 rows of red, and then 6 rows of black again. You'll see here that I am essentially making one long strip. So when I'm doing that second set of black stitches, I just did 12 rows and then repeated the rest of the pattern on the other side. Now is time for us to shape our beanie. If you did it my way, you'll have this long rectangle. You're going to put both of your edges together, and then I did a whip stitch all the way up. You can do a chain stitch all the way up. You can do kind of whatever you want, just so you can make that side seam closed. Next, I closed up the top of the beanie, and by doing that, I would just insert my needle into a space, and I would make sure that I caught the thread on the other side, creating a little bar, and I would continue to do that all the way across. If you want to change the width of the center red stripe, so that thicker one, what I'd recommend doing is just adding the extra rows that you're removing to the black strips on either side. So I believe here I did 7 rows of that red in the center. If you dropped it down to 5, you would just add 1, or you'd add 1 on each side of the black to compensate. Or if it is just too large in general, again, I recommend removing from the middle red piece versus any of the side pieces. Alright guys, so that's it for this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching me make this. If you do make it, let me know, or if you need any questions on it, or have any questions on it, let me know, and I'll answer the best I can. Cat ear beanies kind of became really popular like a year or 2 ago, or maybe it was during COVID, I don't know. The last couple years don't exist in my mind. But anyway, they became really popular over like the crochet girlies. And I know the way I do it's a little bit different than some other people do it. They'll typically just do a chain of whatever number they need and then just go around in a circle that way and go down versus sideways. I prefer this way though. I think it sits better and you really get the like cat ear effect this way versus the up and down way, because I feel like at that point it buckles up here a little more. But yeah, so that's it for this week's video. See you next week.